So presently I'm playing in music. Can you still hear it?
Yes, yes, I can still hear you.
Okay,
And,
okay. So stopping the music now. I'll stop the music now. So everything that we're saying here basically is live.
okay.
So at the point of sharing my screen, this is where problem used to start to. So I really want to know if everything is showing. Also share system audio. Exactly. Yes. I'm sharing my screen right now and I don't know if anybody's watching.
Yeah, already seen.
You're seeing my screen. Right? So basically this is where we stopped in our last class. I was able to fix the error that I was complaining about with my SQL. That it was giving me one kind of error that did I even screenshot it? I'm not sure if I screenshotted it. But basically, if you are having, in order not to fall a victim of the same error that I was having, I would advise that each time you are shutting down your system or closing your system or skipping your system, always try and off this database. This MySQL, this MySQL here in this XAMPP, always try to stop it. And same as the
Okay,
Apache.
sir.
Yes, so you won't. I think what happened was I was presently my system was low and I didn't know when the system died and my database connection was on. That is my server was on using Apache XAMPP. It was on. So at the
Okay.
point of charging my system and running it back, it's like as if I shut down. So everything was starting from the beginning. Then I realized that my XAMPP, the MySQL side was not starting. It was giving me some kind of error that must have occurred during. Let me even check if I don't think I saved the screenshots. Okay, I didn't save the screenshots. But that was it, Sha. So back to our project. Here is what we're working on. We started by adding a product into the database, which is what we have here. We have a form that takes in several inputs. It takes in Gmail inputs, it takes in a name input, which is normal text input, and it takes in numbers as the inputs for price. And then it takes
Yes.
in regular data for details, which is a combination of both what's it called? Letters, characters, and numbers. And then upon clicking submit, it takes us to this page which is called index.php. This is the home page. And this home page gives us a card input for all the details that has been sent to the database. Please mute your mic. Abdullah, okay. Please mute your mic. So yes, it gives us an overview of everything that is being saved in the database. So basically, this edit details button and this more info button should not be active yet because we've not done anything to it. It's just looking like a link because we use an anchor tag. So down to our database, here's what we have. Every single details that is being sent is sent directly to this products DB. This is the product database and here we have a table called products, and the table called products has several other details. All the details that were saved. This particular one here is based on the fact that we didn't use HTML special chars to encrypt um, what's it called? Okay, to be able to secure all the data that is being displayed back in our index.php. That's the reason why this one is bold twice. Actually, this bold is more legible than this one, which is because when we saved it together with an HTML code in this database. We imputed this HTML code in that input field from our form. That's why it saved it like this in form of HTML code. And when it's now showing it here, it's like this is a bold on another bold for another. That's the reason why it's like this. But we have a way of encrypting it. I mean, a way of securing data that is being displayed in our website by using HTML special char. So at the point of my input, the part that is showing product name, when it's echoing the product name here, if I should change it to, okay, before I do that, just let me give a brief explanation of what this code is all about. Again, for those that are live streaming us, so you'll be able to catch up with whichever thing that we are doing here. Basically, the whole configuration style from this config.php, we have our database server to be localhost. This localhost is like the default name for any local server that you're using. In this case, we are making use of XAMPP. We are making use of XAMPP controller, and we are making use of MySQL database. So the DB stands for database. The database server here is localhost, which is what you can see here. And then we have DB user. The user is root, that is the system root. And then we have database password to be an empty string because there is no password set for my admin page. And then we have the database name to be product DB. The product DB here that you see is the same is the same database name that we have in our database. Product DB is what we have here as our what database name, product DB. So now to connect our code to the database, which is what you have here, everything that you have here, to connect everything you have here together with our PHP code, we assigned a new variable name. Sorry, whose mic is not mute? Abdullah, please mute your mic. Where am I? Okay, I think I was here. Yes, so we saved everything that has been connected here using this function MySQLi connect. Everything that was defined here, we connected everything to a variable name called database. You can name it anything. It can be conn, but basically I'm just using this as an illustration. Database. So everything that is being generated here is down here. So just like how we have our boolean statements, if all this is true, that is everything here is true, that is on share, you will have a value that is being returned to this database as one in the sense that okay, this database is active, this variable is active, there is a data saved in this database, I mean this database variable name. Yes, so here you have another if statement that just what confirms if this whole thing is being connected. So we have a confirmation statement, I mean an if statement here that says if my SQLi connects, okay, this error here, if there is an error, then it should echo out connection error and the MySQL error name. The every error we have like an error prompt. So this function is performing the error prompt. So it's going to display this error prompt, and it has been concatenated with this echo, which is what connection error, and then this will be the error prompt that will be displayed if this whole thing here does not work. So I've saved this my config.php and down to my form. The form was where I started my configuration. Okay, yes, this add does PHP. This add is what you see right here. Add.php is what you see right here. So that add button, you can see it add.php. So that's what I worked on here. So what does this add do? It takes in inputs for any product you are about to add into this what database. So let me explain how it works. Down to the point where I have a form, it has a label and an input, which is what you see here, a label and an input. So for the inputs, we have a type email for taking emails. We have another one text for taking product name. Yes, we have another one number to take what the product price. We have another one, text. To take in the details, we have another button. This is a button that takes in words, submit. So each time this button is being clicked, you are directly sending a value which is submit. So in this form, we make use of what? The method post. We make use of what? A post method. So it's either you have post method, you have a get method. So in this case, we make use of post method because we're sending a form that contains data. So we likely not want to use get. And then here is what I did. Because my config.php is a separate file entirely, I did not declare this configuration in this same add.php. I declared it as what? A separate file. So in order for this separate file to be attached to this add.php, I have to what? Include it in my PHP space. So I have to include it in this whole project. So using include or require underscore once. So it's a way of what? Importing everything that you have in this config.php. So you'll be able to use this variable what? Database. You'll be able to use this variable name called database. You'll be able to make use of it in this code, in this particular page. So I have my config.php, yes. I have my if statement. This if statement checks if this button submit has been sent, I mean is true for a post method. Yes, is true means it has a value. So the value for this submit is already represented as 1 if there is a submit in this post request. That's the meaning of this if statement. This is set. So what this function is set, what it does is that it checks, it determines if a variable is declared. That's it, and it's different from null. That is, it is not empty. So if this post, if there is a variable post that contains a value for submit, then that means this is set. That is when all this will run. If not, then it will not do anything. There is no else statement here. It will not do anything. So it will just display the whole page the exact same way you are saying it. Yes, it's just be all these ones are commented out. So skip this PHP. It should just display the whole content of this page, which is what we have here because nothing is being sent. So we have our email. So if the button submit is being clicked, which you have the name here, submit, not the type has to be submit, but this name is what you are seeing here. So if this submit is being declared, then you can have email, a variable name called email. You can assign the value for your post email to be what equals to email, and then our post uh, request that is having the value for p name, product name, which is what you have here. Yes, you save the value into product name, and then product price for product price, and then the details for product details. So everything here now is now being saved into a variable. So this line 123 here just makes use of a function called MySQLi query. MySQLi query, in the sense that it makes use of a query makes use of a query code. It connects everything that you have with this database, and then sends this MySQLi code, which says insert into products the value for, insert into products, that table called products, and insert into this column email, product name, product price, product details, the values. This also values, is insert all these values that has been collected in this was variable name into these columns in this particular table called products. That's what it does. And if this is not done, then if this is done, then it should set the location down to index.php. This is like a redirect statement. Header location is like a redirect statement. So if this done is what correct, that is, if there is a value for this done, then it should what locate me to change my location down to index.php. Else, echo out there's an error in your code. So that's all about this add.php. That's what it does. And down to my index.php, here's what it does. Like I said, I need my configuration move for my index also. That's the reason why I'm importing this config file .php, just in case I need a value. I need my database, so I need the variable name in my database. So I made a comment here which says write query for all products. So to write a query, exactly what we did in this add.php, but it was in a single line. I just broke it down into a separate lines. This is my SQL code. this MySQL language, select all from product, the table called product, and order everything by ID. Order everything by ID in an ascending order. That's the meaning. So my code is now being represented as what? SQL, that variable name, and I made use of it here. So here is what you use to make the query and get a result from the database. So we have the variable name called products, and you are assigning it to this function, my SQLi query. It queries what? This database, and with this SQL code. So everything here that you have here, this MySQL, is the same thing as what you have in this add.php in a single line. So you are querying your database with the following SQL code. That's exactly what I did here. Uh-huh. So what it does here now is that all the data that we've gotten from this database in under this table, I mean under this product table, it saves it in this variable name called products. And down to my code, where I was having all the list of all the products, it's just this simple code that you're saying that displays everything that you have here. Just this simple, how many lines of code save? If not for what I comment out here, if I cancel it, they are not equal to, just let me say 52. 52 lines of code. So what happened here is that I made use of a loop statement, which is for each loop. You can use for each, you can use while, you can use for loop. But in this case, I make use of what? A for each loop. That is everything that is gotten from this database is in form of a multidimensional array. That is, there are many datas gotten directly from this data because I selected all from that database. So this is how the database look like. You have rows, a lot of rows, and then you have columns. All the columns are containing the attributes for each of the rows. So each row represents a a lot of data for a specific ID, just one ID, a lot of data. So because there are many, I intended to what? To pluralize my variable name as products. So at the case of now trying to loop through this my card, this is just a simple card having column to be 6 on any devices lesser than the medium devices. And for medium devices, it will contain 4. Those ones are just what styling in using Bootstrap. So basically, this is just looking like a card, which is what we have here. Something like this. Everything I see here is what has been implemented here, down here. So my loop statement was created right above it so that it will loop this card over and over and over and over again. So the first statement you see here now is my ID. My $ID equals to 1. This is just hard coded because I want everything to be ordered, but we didn't use it because we didn't make use of a list. We are not doing anything that has to do with list. That's it is when we were doing listing. That's when I make use of this word ID, just like how I did here, but I commented it out. So this is what we're working with, and then we have a for each statement that what loops through every product as products. So like I said, it's a multidimensional array. All the products for one row, another row, and another row, another row, another row, another row represent all these products as a single product. That is, everything you have here is a single product. Sorry, everything you have on this row is a single product. Everything you have on this row is also a single product, and so on like that. So since it has what looped it as all the products as what a single product, then you can bring out just one single product. You can bring out the product name. One single product, you can bring out product price. Can you see product name, product price, product details, product price, and product details? Everything shows right here. Product email. Is it email? Okay, yeah, there's email. Yes. So and these two buttons that I added recently is for edit and more info. So more info gives us complete details about this particular what product. So upon clicking it, it sends a query parameter to the URL. So from the URL, we can now make use of what a get method. Yes, a get method to fetch the data from that ID. So that's what we're basically going to do today. So let me check my database again. So I have ID, I have email, I have product name, product price, product details. Email, product name, product price, product details. Email, product name, product price, product details. Let's assume let's assume the product details was not showing on this particular page. because we don't want it to be too big. Let's assume, okay, control V. Let's assume the product details is not meant to show. Just like this, a very simple card with no problem. Everything is just showing very short like this. Just like how blog posts usually look like. So it's once you click on more info before you will now see the words, the product details. We can get that done. And here's what we're going to do. You create another separate file for single products. So here I have a new file for single products and I included everything that I needed for the header and the footer. This is what you see as the header. It's a separate file, so I included it. And then I have my footer also down there. And footer is what you see right here. Everything you see right here is my footer, so I just included that. So the first thing was, this is not necessary, I can comment it out, but it's just what I have here just to test my page is working. And then this is the main content of my single product. It's just a basic style, basic style, basic style. And I decided to make use of what I have here, this particular card. Everything I have in this card is what I displayed here. So a single product, I can make use of unique UNIQ UE product, unique product name, and then this will be the price. And then let me see, this is the email address of the person that's email address of the person that uploaded this, and then this will be the product details. Let me assume, let me check for my database. Let me assume this is the whole content of the page. So from my project, I'll just change my directory to single products. There's no yet a button for it, so yes. So this is how my single product will look like. I hope you guys are following. So basically, these are my unique products. I mean, a single product will look like. So how can I now make this dynamic in a way that will not be the one imputing the product details for one after the other? That's why we make use of these particular query parameters in a way that it's going to get the person's ID for one of the products. It's going to get the ID and it will send it to the URL that okay, oh, this URL, oh, it is just product ID one that I want to show all the single details about that product. And that's what we're going to do now. So in this is my home. In this button, you can see ID one. In this button, you can see ID two. In this button, you can see ID three. If you should check down here, once you preview a link without clicking, you'll see I showing ID one, it's showing ID two, it's showing ID three. That means I I added this code to be dynamic. Everything you see here, everything you see here, this href index.php, but in this case it will be our single product .php. I make use of a question mark. Each time you see a question mark, it's a query parameter. So I repeated a question mark, a question mark that says ID equals to this whole ID, this whole thing that I highlighted here. Let me enlarge. Yes, this whole thing that I highlighted here is my what? The ID of this specific product. Of this specific product. I've just written one here. If I had written one here, it should just be like, okay, oh, is to share. Yes, you just like, okay, this particular ID is what one. But in this case, I made it dynamic in a way that it will get the exact ID for this specific product. So that's what we have here. So it is not exactly this ID that you have here, oh. It is not. So I can cancel this one out just so that it's not confuse us, and save. So for each product as product, all the whole products is now coming down into a single word product. We outputted the word product name, the product price, and the product email. The product details is not showing, so I'll cancel that one out. I'll remove that line. So this is basically what we are seeing on this index.php, and then we have a line that demarcates these buttons. So we have the edit button that will still take us back to index.php, which is this same page. It is not yet active yet. We can just make it like this. Yes. So that means for now that link is not yet valid. It's just there as a link. So what we have here is product ID. So if ID is to just bring it out here, the product ID. Each time I click on more info. So let me save and reload. So you can see when I over on it, I can see local slash php tutorial slash product slash single product dot php, and then that question mark starts the query parameter. On the norms, I should have ended at single product dot php, but that question mark represents the query parameter id equals to 1. So if I should over on the second one, you can see id equals to 2, and the third one id equals to 3. It is actually following this pattern. Everything you see here for the first one is the id is 1, second one the id is 2, third one is id is 3, and they are all in ascending order. So that is the reason why you can see them listed out this way. So the last one I just added is this, which is what id 6. So if I should submit another form again and it comes down here, it will be what ID 7. So on clicking on one of these, it takes us to the what to this index page. I mean to this single product page, but not the data ganga that we're supposed to see, because everything that we have here is not yet unique. They are they are hard coded. Hard coding means I type data out. I type out all the details that I should show here. But what if I want these details? Sorry, please mute your mic. Oh. So what if the details, this LO3 plus that is here, I want it to be the one that will show right here. So the person's email and then this thing will show here. Of course, you can type this just like how we've done it here. Type it right here, but it will not still work because it has to be dynamic. So and what I'm going to do now is I will make use of an if statement, PHP. So in this I will have to first what bring in my database. So this is my database here. So I will have to get the I will have to use get method to get the ID. So this ID that you can see here in this URL, the ID is what ID. So I can now uh get ID to be equals to the ID. I think I have a sample here. Okay, ID new ID equals to ID. So what you have here is okay, everything that you have in your data in your URL after the question mark is a get statement. Is a get statement. So basically, what I have in my URL right now, where is this dollar sign? Okay, yes, this dollar sign underscore capital letter GET. This get is having um a data for this is the name, but the name currently for what you can see in that URL is ID. This particular ID that you see here, that's the name. So automatically the value is 1 for this whole thing that you have here. The value is 1. So with this, I'm ending this line of code and I can now equate it to another variable, and let me call it unique unique ID. I hope you understand this way. So everything you have here, this get statement ID is getting what from this query parameter that we have up here in our URL. It gets the what the value for this ID. So this id is equals to 1. So that means the value here for this get statement is what? 1. Everything that you have here now is 1, and that's equals to what? The unique id. So now that this is the unique id, I can now what? Get the that specific id, the data from that specific id in the database. In this what? Index.php, we just what? Used this sql to what? To select all the products, all select all from products table. But in this case now, we are just going to write an SQL statement that what? We select a specific product, select from. So I said we were going to use this kind of quotation, from products, from products table. You are selecting from products table where the id, this kind of quotation, where the id of that table is equal to this variable name here, unique id. So those ones will be in single quotation. I hope you guys understand this. So instead of select all, which is what we did here, select all from products, we did select from products. Okay, yeah. It will still be select all from products. Sorry. It will select everything on this table from products table where the id equals to unique id. So what that means is, in this our table here now, it will surely select everything where id equals to that unique id. So our unique id, we assumed it to be 1 because currently we are on this page 1. So everything here will be selected. So the select all is for all the rows, shey get, not like the whole table. So that's asterisk, which is this star that you see here, is representing all the rows from product table, this product table that you see here, where my id, this id is this column that you see here, equals to this new variable name that I just declared, this value, unique id. So this unique id now, for every single product, I hope you get that, for every single product in this single product file, they will have their own unique id that it will be getting from the previous page for index. So this unique id now is what will enter this place, and it will be able to streamline a search to only all the data that you have here, all the data that you have here. So that is the meaning of this sqli code. And if you are not so sure, you can come down to this sql and check the code. Can you see from here, select all from products where what? This one here is just a default. You can see select all from products where id, this id equals to something, which is what I just did here. So you can decide to put inside brackets like this so that it will not look so rough, or you don't even bother, it will surely work. So that's my SQL code. So I will just make this query and get a result from the database, just like this. Yeah, just like this. Yeah, that's the reason. I think that's it. Okay. Where is my? Okay. So upon selecting everything that you have here, so uniquely we've gotten a unique product, UNI QUE. Gotten the unique product, we can easily collect everything for the unique product down here, but because everything is still in form of an array right here, it's in form of an array, that is, it's having everything in form of like a list. So it has the ID, it has the email, it has the product, it has this, it has that. So it is still looking like an array. That's the reason why I make use of this my SQLi query fetch. So it will fetch the array, so it's like it's bringing everything down into smaller chunks, breaking everything down into smaller chunks. So this unique product now, we are now declaring it a new variable to be what, product. For, let me copy this. This is unique product. Because of typographical error, that's why we do this copy and paste, just so that you will not make a kind of mistake in your spelling, that at the end of the day you will not know. So this unique product has been gotten from the database. Yes. So we are now splitting it down into smaller chunks because it's in form of an array. Using this function, my SQLi function, I mean fetch array. This MySQL fetch array will what? Will split this array into smaller chunks for products. Do you understand that now? So that means this product now holds the key for email, product name, product price, product details, just like that. So on saving this now, I can call out this array to what, to replace this my what, unique array. Yes. So I want to echo out product name. So cross your fingers and hope it works. Save, and then down to my unique. This is my single product though. For single product ID 1 from the database, what do you see? You see the name to be what, Elo3. And now once ready to go, let's see if it works. Look at this product name. Once I reload, error. Undefined product, it's not name, it's product name. Yes, that's the reason why. PRODUCT underscore name. Yes, so that is what this thing is representing from the database. So that's the reason I confirmed it. So you can see it is product name. Look at the error. It said undefined array key, which is name. And that was what I typed in there before. But in this case now I've changed it to product name. Now let's see if it works. Yes, it works. So you can see LO3 plus unisex. This data here now is not on this page. It is gotten directly from your database. So at the point of inspecting, let's try and see. If we inspect, we even see, let's see, not here. But click now. Yes, everything is gotten. Can you see it? This LO3 unisex wristwatch is directly gotten from the database. You can see it right here, but presently in our code is not there, which is because everything that you see right here is gotten directly from what? From the database. So, like I was saying earlier, there are some times whereby some queries, I mean, JavaScript functions are being sent into your form without you knowing. It will directly save to the database only if you make use of some precautionary method, so that it will not save, that will filter any kind of form of string that is not right for you to save in your database. So another way of we securing our data is by making use of what, HTML special characters. So this is exactly how it looks like. We place all this stuff that here into a bracket, and before the brackets we type in what, HTML special chars, which is what you see here. Exactly. So HTML special chars is a function that converts special characters into HTML entities. So that means if you are if there is a code that is being sent to your database, probably a code has been saved here, and just like what we have here, this particular one, we will check it now. Is a what, ID 5. We'll see if it's going to print out that same code right here. So using this HTML special char is a very secure way of it's not completely secure, but it's a way of securing your data when you're getting it from the database. So HTML is not tamper with your code. So product name is being outputted here, So we can still use the same code for displaying the product price. So everything here, we want it to have naira. So this is product price. We change it to pric. It must be exactly the same name as what you have here, product price, product underscore price. That's what I have here. Yes, and I'm using HTML special chars just to make it secure. And as for the email of the owner, I copy and paste. So I input what email. Yes, because it's just email that was here. And then as for the product details, which is the exact reason why we created this page gone, you also was replace it with this, and it will be product details. Yeah, so you have it to be what in form of product details, and we are securing it using HTML special chars. So upon saving this whole code now, we can go back to our single product page and reload. All the data that we are seeing presently are data for this specific what specific product. So basically you can add some adjustment to it by giving it a button that says go back, like a back button, or a button that displays more about these details, just in case we have more other details like this created at. And so you can style it in different ways. So basically I'll just go back and test this very well. Looking at this, yes, this is for product one. So still using this my same single product page, just that the ID is different for single of every single details that is being outputted for this single product page. So this is for ID2. Going back, let me click on, can you see this is for ID3. So this one now that is having, this is the only one that looks real out of everything that I posted here. So this is a product name, and this is the product Gmail, and then the price. So if I click on more info because I just want to see more details about this product, can you see it gives me the exact things that I need. Arriving at also date, it's the exact data that is being saved. So let's see what else again for this one. Can you see exactly? So this is what I was explaining about the fact that HTML special chars declares any kind of entity. It will output it as what characters. Bó ṣe bẹ́ ṣe gbé fún mi náà ni màá ṣe máa gbé padà. So it's not going to perform any role. In this back, let me take it back. Can you see here? I did not make use of HTML special chars on this my index.php. Let me check my code so that you will see what I was saying. In this my index.php, down to the product name part, the part that was displaying product name. Can you see it here? It is only echoing out the product name. So regardless of the entities or the characters that's been attached to that product name, it is going to perform the action of those characters if there is no HTML special characters function on it. So as it is like this now, there is no function on it. It's just echo. And in replacement of this echo, you can have it to be like this. That's the short form of echoing in PHP, just like what we have here. It still performs the same action. So upon saving and then me refreshing, it's still the exact same thing that you see here But in this my second page where I made use of HTML special chars, where is it again? Single in this single I make use of what HTML special chars, and I placed all my data, that is this data, I place it in a bracket for this HTML special chars to perform that action on this particular bracket. That's the reason why you see that when I click on more info for this particular product, it is the exact same thing that you see in the database that is showing out. So you get, so it's not performing the action of bold. So if I edit this now to be what, let me say this is I, what's italics, let me save and see. Can you see it shows it the exact same way it is? Can you see it here now? On this particular page, it performs that italics styling on it, which is not meant to be. It's not meant to be like that because there are some goats. Once they see your page that is having this weakness, once they come here, they'll just type in some kind of JavaScript function, and it will surely perform that same function. It will do the exact same thing that is meant to do on your page, and you just realize, what happened? I did not style my heading to look like this. Why is it like this? Look like a bug. Exactly. And from there they can even crash your database because that function is going to what to is going to work on this database. So in order not to have encounter issues like that, it's always advisable to what to make use of HTML special charts, just like I have done here. So that's that. What other things again would I like to discuss? So we'll be able to display everything on a single database right here. Let me confirm if you guys are still with me. Olax, please, are you still with me? Mr. Hafiz and Abdullah, wherever you are.
Yes, yeah, sure.
Alright. Alright. So that's basically the explanation for a single product page, and it's unique for every single thing, for every single data that has been selected. So this edit, for this edit page now, for you to be able to edit data right here, it's still the same functions that we've been doing, but it's just the SQL code that will be different. Um, in the SQL, you can see the function for update. Update does the same, it does the exact same function for edit. So in PHP, you edit data, just what everybody knows it's for, edit or update, she gets. But the SQL code for it is this particular update that you see. So in our SQL code that we have here, instead of select all from products, you just make use of what? Update the table called products and set the column for ID to be this value. That value will be dynamic. The column for email to be this value. The column for product name to be this value, and so on and so forth, like that. Where ID equals to the ID that was gotten from your query parameter, because every single one like this must be unique, having a different ID. Yes, kò le rárá. So just let me give a very fast illustration of what that is. So basically for my edit page, I want to make use of something that looks like this, my add products page. So I'm just going to copy all the style that you see here and make a new edit page. Edit.php. So in this my edit page now, I said it's going to make it's going to look like this add.php. So everything that I have here is what I'm going to copy. Of course, not the PHP code, but just all what we have here. Yes. Is that all? Yes. So this is basically a simple form. So this is my edit.php. Now let me come to my index and redirect the selected one to edit.php. edit.php. So please follow this procedure when you are doing anything that has to do with query parameters, so you understand. So when you over on this, you can see just edit.php. Let me zoom this in. I don't like zooming. I hate it. It's bad. So this is edit.php. Undefined variable for email. I've not defined any variable now. Did I define any variable for edit? Oh yeah, this is it. Okay. Sorry, this code they were there before now, so I didn't know. They were not supposed to be there. So yes, this is exactly how my form is without any PHP function on it. Yes, so this is actually edit.php, so I can style this to make it look like edit and not submit. So instead of it, add a product. edit a unique product, and instead of submit, I'll make it what? Update in capital letters. So this particular one now is only taking in what? Updates. So you can see this particular page is quite different from what you have here, add.php. So you should be able to understand that it's a different file entirely, but they just look alike. So in this case, everything that you see here is so blank. So why exactly will I select edit and the whole thing is blank? I should probably be able to see a preview of everything that I have here in this form, shey get? So that I will know that okay, this is exactly what I'm editing. I'm editing these particular details, and that's what I want to see in my edit.php. That's when you are going to make use of um this value. There is a statement called value. So for this input field now, you can have this value, something like this, to be, let's just type in a we are just playing around now, just let's type in anyhow email. So abc@gmail.com. So I only had coded this just to test it out. So in my HTML also, I can also have value. Value is just like the exact just like value for this particular infuse field. So the product name, I just want it to be everything that you have here, and then my product price, I want it to be this exact value that I type in here. So I want it to be 2000. Sorry, I don't have naira on my keyboard, but I'll copy it now. And then my product details, let me say I want the value to be equals to, don't let me type anything in my product details yet. So once I save, so that means everything that I have here hard coded will be what we display in this particular edit.php page. Can you see the value automatically? It is already showing it. So it's not showing the placeholder. What you are seeing here, this input product details is a placeholder, and that's what every input field has their own placeholder. If you like, you can remove it. If you like, don't include it at all. It's still representing what you have in your words label. So all the data that you see here, they are values, not the placeholder. Not this placeholder. This placeholder now I can't edit it, but the values that were here is what was displayed. Can you see? So you can edit this. So upon clicking update, it should be the code for updates that we take in this form. So before we get to that now, let me still buttress more on the fact that it is the details that is here that I want it to show here, and not the details that I'm typing in myself. So that is where query parameter comes in. You can see in this place now nothing is here because I do not input what any value for my product details. So this is how query parameter works, just like I have explained. So I'm starting a PHP code and I'm ending it here. So in my PHP now, yes, include my database, because later on I'll still make use of it. But that's basically not supposed to be the first step. So my first step here now is I'm getting the ID, because I'm making use of query parameter, and then underscore get um let me call it edit. This name can be any name. Share get. So this edit now, I now want to equate it to a new variable called um let me say change. You can use any name for your variable name. Shey you get? So this get statement here now is just a method of what? Attracting data from the what? The URL. So as far as there is something called get edit from here, edit is from index, sorry. This is my edit.php. So I will now what? Add code my query parameter to the what? Instead of ID, I can type in what? Edit, edit equals to, of course, the ID. So in this case, you are going to make use of your PHP because it has to be dynamic. So output the what? The product ID that you're selecting. PRODUCT. And then you have the okay ID of that product. Close your bracket. Is that all? Yes. Okay, sir. So looking at this now, this is the query parameter that we send us, it will direct us to what edit.php, and then you have a question mark that starts the query parameter, and then you have what a key, and then this is the value. So the key here what is edit. It will send it to the data, I mean to the URL, and then up here, sorry, and then up here you will get it back from the URL that gets what this key edit, and the whole thing that you have here will be the value of that ID, of this ID that you have here. It will get it right here, and it will save it as what change ID. So let me save this also. So automatically at point of checking my what's it called, my index of speech, when I hover on it, I can see it down in that URL right here. You can see it when you hover, you see edit.php and then question mark edit equals to 1. So on clicking on it, you can see this page. This is my unique edit page, and I'm already having my unique what's it called, query parameter here, but I've not yet output all the details yet from the database. So now let's now start working with our database. That is why I included my what config.php. And guess what? What is the next step after including your config.php? You type in your SQL code. So you can type your SQL code just like what we did here, or you just type everything out straightforward like what we did in our hard.php right here. Add everything here. So in my this.php, I can decide to first type out my SQL code. So in this case, we are updating. So follow this update product set where click on equals to this. Let's assume that's all what we type. Yeah. So basically we don't need some things. It's going to enter the product table and set, we don't need ID because ID is automatically generated. So email will be some value, product name will be some value, product price will be some value, product details will be some value, created at and updated at will be removed. So this where statement now is where our ID equals to the ID that we've just gotten here. Change ID. Where our ID equals to change ID. Yeah, so I can decide to put this in a bracket. There's not supposed to be a 1 here. Yeah, so everything that I have here, end line of code, right? Like that, yes. So now these values are not, they are not correct because they are not meant to be like this. And for this whole update to work, they have to fall under an if statement, which is you have to confirm if this form is even being submitted already. So instead of submit, let me call it update. Yes, so let me save and then come to my if statement. So what are we checking if it's set? We want to check if there is a post data for updates in this page before this whole thing here can run. Else, if nothing is there, just ignore nothing. Shey you get. So if all this, if there is a post, there is the data for the post update. If it's set, then you should perform this function. So what are the function? You have to first save all the data that you have here. So just like how we have in this add.php, everything here, we are saving it. So we copy it here and paste. So the explanation, I'm sure you will understand if you follow, if you've been following. So the email from this what email is to take in the data and paste it here. The data for value is to paste it here into product name. Data for price is to post it here, and so on like that. And okay, I'm coming. I'll still explain that. So immediately after what getting in all the data that you have there, it will just perform what this SQL um function. So we